So my birthday is on April 19th, and for the last few years, for some reason, Hollywood has been gifting me with vampire movies. 2023, there was Renfield, 2024, Abigail, and now Sinners. I don't quite understand it, but I'm not going to question it. I'll take it. How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for my review of Sinners, the new film from Ryan Coogler. As far as I'm concerned, he's made nothing but good movies. This is another collaboration with Michael B. Jordan, who's a great actor, and the fact that they're tackling vampires had me very excited. The early reviews were glowing for this thing, and I always take those with a grain of salt. People really like to exaggerate, but for this film, it made sense. It seemed like those reactions were genuine. And I've seen interviews from Ryan Coogler about this movie, and not only does he seem like a really cool guy, he was also talking about how, even though he's made all of these movies that he has put himself into as much as he could, they were always franchise stuff, like Black Panther and Creed, or Fruitvale Station, which is a true story. He hasn't gotten to make something truly original, and that he feels like is fully expressive of who he is and being able to put himself out there for the audience. Well, let me tell you, Ryan Coogler, if this is you expressing yourself, more of this, please. I know you're gonna go do Black Panther 3, but after that, more of this. Because yeah, the early reactions make a lot of sense. This is one of the best vampire films of all time. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means top 5, top 10, whatever, but it was fantastic. Ryan Coogler's direction has gone up, I don't know if I want to say like tenfold. It's a massive step up, and I've always liked the guy as a filmmaker, but he just put all of his heart and soul into this. There are some incredible long tracking shots that give you a great feel for the environments that you're in. The way he incorporates music into this, music is a central part of this film in a way that I did not expect. And if you're talking about the songs that the characters sing or the score by Ludwig Göransson, it's great. The way he incorporates it, sometimes cutting between music and dialogue scenes or cutting between music and action scenes, he implements it so well. There's one scene in particular I won't go into detail about, but it involves a bunch of different types of music blended together, and the things that he's showing while that music is playing are super unique. And at first I was like, what are we doing? What's happening? And then you realize what he's going for. And it's really cool. A central theme of the movie is the power of music and how music connects people, the power of creating art and following your passions. And so you can really feel that from Ryan Coogler as he pours his passion into making this film, and mainly through the character of Sammy, who's played by Miles Caton. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he was really good, and he's the one that this is mainly communicated through as he is struggling to convince his pastor father that he should be allowed to pursue a career in music. And I think this is his first role, which is crazy. He was really good. Michael B. Jordan is great, playing two separate characters, twin brothers. I love how they're very similar to each other. They grew up together, they've been through a lot together. They're doing this business venture where they're trying to start this club down in Mississippi in 1932. There's a lot about them that's similar, but they have these small, subtle differences that I really enjoyed. His performance as both was great. Always love seeing that guy. And I love how there was basically equal focus for the two brothers and equal depth to both of the characters. So I never felt like one was clearly the main character. Like if one of them was gonna die or one of them was gonna die first, I didn't know which one it was going to be. Delroy Lindo is so good and so funny. It's a very funny movie, and a lot of it comes from him. There were a lot of good laughs in my theater. There was a round of applause at one point. People started clapping near the end when something happened, and it was deserved. But he is great. Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Mosaku, everybody is fantastic. They have great chemistry with each other, and this world feels so alive. This town and this club, they feel so lived in. Just how good the actors are, how good their chemistry with each other is, the way Ryan Coogler shoots all of it, the look of the film, because it's gorgeous, the music and the dialogue. The dialogue feels so natural, it's so well written, the way these characters talk to each other about their past, it feels like they have had full lives. It feels like this town is lived in, like there's a lot of genuine history here, and so it feels real. So even before the vampire stuff kicks in, which does take quite a while, I was very invested in everything. And then the latter half of the movie gives you everything you want from the vampire side of things. There's a lot of bloodshed. I love the way they utilize the rules of vampirism. That's one of my favorite things about vampire movies. There are so many different iterations of the creatures throughout time that you can kind of pick and choose which rules you want to use. If you want to create new rules, they make heavy use of the need to be invited in rule in this film, which I really like. They don't really do crazy new things with the vampires. It's kind of just classic vampire carnage the way you would want it to be. But I do like how they kind of tie it in with folklore and the culture of this time period, because that's also a major part of the movie, this town's history and culture and the black culture of the time and the issues that they would obviously be dealing with in a place like this, Mississippi, 1932, the segregation, the discrimination, and it's a really smartly woven in metaphor about the separation between different groups of people and the danger that certain people felt like they were in and were in, but told through a vampire story. So while it doesn't do anything crazy new with the vampires necessarily, and it has similarities to other vampire movies, the fact that it's so well made, the fact that that social commentary is in there and is woven in really well, and the fact that it's so heavily focused on music gives it its own really solid identity. It's one of those films that shows you how good blockbusters can really be when a director is allowed to just do what he wants and be his true creative self, and it really paid off here. I think it's going to make a lot of money. It's on track to potentially become the highest opening weekend for an original film post-COVID, which is crazy. That is currently held by Nope, because you have to remember things like Oppenheimer are not technically original. They're based on real events and also a book, but still, like, it deserves the money for sure. People in my theater seem to be loving it. Like I said, there was applause. It's one of those movies that makes me think about, yeah, I love doing this. I love going to the movies. I love being a part of this medium and experiencing it and talking about it with people. And there are 2 post-credit scenes. If I add some negatives, I will say there are a few kinda lame, loud jump scare sounds, but it's only a few, and they're only really towards the beginning. So it's not a big deal. I do think it was a little long. Because it leans so heavily on the vampires needing to be invited in, there's a good portion of the movie where it's kind of a standstill. The humans are here, the vampires are here, and they can't get in. So it slows down for a little bit. I was enjoying all of my time with the humans because it's so well set up, but I do think it was maybe a tad long. And it reminded me of From Dusk Till Dawn. That's going to be an easy comparison. You got 2 brothers fighting vampires. The first half is very different than the second half. Not as much as From Dusk Till Dawn, because that movie gives you no hint that vampires are coming. It's just a crime thriller, and then all of a sudden, what? This isn't like that. You know the vampires are coming, but then you're holed up at this one location fighting them. There are definitely similarities. There are a lot of differences as well. This has its own identity, for sure. But like that movie, I think I kind of preferred the first half, because when you get to the vampire stuff, it is very much vampire stuff. And I like vampire stuff, and it's really well done vampire stuff, but I have seen vampire stuff. So I was kind of more invested in the characters and the world and their history and everything that made me care about the vampire stuff that came later. But once we get to all of that bloodshed, that is very much the expected part. It's the payoff, and it's really good, but that is the part that I was kind of less interested in. Because I do think some people are being a little hyperbolic about the movie, even when I thought it was great, because I've seen people say, like, it goes in these wild, unexpected directions, and I'm like, okay, it is a vampire movie. Like, that's what you need to expect. The direction that it mainly goes in is that vampires bite people, and then those people bite people, and, you know, that's mostly it. There's other great stuff in there too, but I'm just saying, I think I preferred the first half because the second half was more expected, while being still really good and really fun. But those horror elements are so good because the first half of the movie did such a good job at making me actually care about these people and not wanting to see them get hurt and being sad when they inevitably do. There's really no question for me that this is the best movie of the year so far, so it'll likely end up still being one of the best by the end, I'm sure. And I'm glad we got this because most of the best horror movies of the year so far have been like horror comedies or horror blended with other genre, a lot of really lighthearted stuff. And I was waiting for that one really good serious horror movie. And while it's not scary by any means, it is very serious, while also being very funny. But it's an extremely well-made, bloody vampire tale from a director who, even though I've liked everything from him, I didn't know he had this in him. And so, again, more please. Like, we're not gonna see this kind of sauce from Black Panther 3. They're not gonna let him do that. But whatever else he does, I'm more excited than ever. The only thing I know is that it'll have Michael B. Jordan in it. He'll probably even find a way to fit him into Black Panther 3 somehow. So those are all my thoughts. I would love to hear what you think of Sinners down below, whether you agree or disagree with anything that I said. I want to talk to you about it. So let's do that. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.